Adam Copeland has responded to AEW booking criticism. We've got the latest on TNA Backlash following Gail Kim's firing, and the Hardy Boyz tease a WWE main roster return. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling news right now. So Adam Copeland has responded to the criticism of his booking in AEW in recent months. I think something that a lot of fans and ourselves as well on the news have spoken about. He was speaking about that in an interview recently with TV Insider. He said, "I don't factor in where I end up. I always say, where do you need me? You want me to go in this direction? Cool. I'll start putting together some ideas. It's a collaborative effort, but I really enjoy that. I enjoy piecing stories together." He continued this by saying as well, contrary to popular belief, we don't come up with the finishes. I always just ask, where do you need me? Point me in whatever direction you need me, and I'll get to work. How do you feel about Adam Copeland's booking?
It's very funny because I've been a big fan of Edge, big fan of Adam Copeland, Cope, whatever you want to call him. I've always been a big fan of him, and the criticism that he has faced in AEW has been quite a lot, and it's not unwarranted.
No.
He hasn't really lost. So when you hear people going, oh, maybe how much control does he have over his booking? And then his explanation of it being like, hey, it's not me that's choosing to win. You kind of have to take that with a little bit of pinch of salt, because how much influence does he have just by being the legend that is Adam Copeland, that is Edge, which is Cope? It's nice that he's kind of dispelled that a little bit though, but it's a case of like, how much value does he have? If this is Tony's decision, this is AEW's creative decision that is going, hey, you don't need to lose this, or we're going to make sure that it's a bit of a dirty finish here. It does really go, well, is that really the best position for him? Would it be more beneficial to have him lose clean to your Malachis when it was last year?
Yes.
When it was, I'm trying to think of other names right now off the top of my head, but even against Christian, maybe having it.
Jay White as well. Things
Jay
that
White.
I guess sort of like, I understand the criticism, and again, like sort of as Adam Copeland has said here, and as Fraser has said there too, like perhaps not everything is obviously all up to him. I'm sure he has some sort of sway, but I think my criticism with perhaps Adam Copeland in AEW is that it's just felt like nobody has really benefited from being in a storyline with him, or has come out looking a lot better, or has then gone on to do
better things. The only person that I can think of is Christian Cage, and it's another 50-year-old.
So it's true.
And his first comments was like, I want to work with the young guys. I want to be in there with the guys and give them the exposure that they need.
Yeah.
And fair enough, he has worked with some of the younger guys on the roster with this Cope Open when he was TNT champ. That was a great use of his talents. But I just don't really believe what he's saying here, especially when you take into account his WWE run, where he also didn't really lose that much.
True. Also, yeah.
So, like, I still love Cope. I still love what he does and Edge. But pinch of salt on that one for me. Little pinch of salt. A little salt be in there.
One.
Yeah.
Well, from one sort of like controversial criticism to another, as we talk about the firing of Gail Kim from TNA. So yesterday it was reported that TNA had made a major backstage reshuffle that saw Gail Kim fired from her role in the company, and that was something that was met with overwhelming negativity reactions from TNA locker room. I think fans generally of wrestling as well. Fightful offers an update, however, today.
Saying over a dozen TNA talent reached out to Fightful regarding the news of Gail Kim's firing, which was met with shock, disbelief, and anger. It was a unanimously unpopular move based on those we spoke to, Fightful saying that, with at least one talent said that it made the decision for them to not remain in the company when their deal was up. There were others that told Fightful that they were actually scared for their jobs. This seems to be an completely unpopular decision. Gail Kim is a legend of this business and someone who seems really had an influence in TNA that helped sort of make it a really positive place to be for the creative side. It continues, though, the report saying one source close to Fightful said that Gail Kim's departure didn't actually come as a surprise to them, as she'd been very outspoken with recent TNA creative decisions, which would sometimes lead to some butting heads between the people in control and her. The reaction from Gail The reaction to Gail Kim's departure has been reported by Fightful as being is more negative than Scott D'Amore's last year. Now, Scott's was seen as a big misstep for TNA, especially after the rebrand, so you can only imagine what the reaction is like internally to Gail Kim's departure. But Fightful concludes by saying, even outside of TNA, the firing of Gail Kim was met with shock and disbelief, with personalities from the industry trying to learn why it happened. A number of them told Fightful that they reached out to her directly, and Kim seemed determined. Gail Kim currently has no non-compete and can allow herself to work anywhere that the wrestling world chooses her to go. And there are so many different possibilities.
Yes.
My mind, though, immediately jumps to, now, based off of a report a few days ago that Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling wanted to sign people to some exclusive contracts, I could fully see Scott going, come work with me again.
I mean, again, like Scott has obviously worked with her in the capacity of TNA and knows how valuable she is. However, I'm sure there's so many other companies and so many other people also know the value that Gail Kim has, and there'll be so many people just absolutely singing her praises throughout the industry. And I don't think she's going to be shy of any amount of offers. There's going to be a lot of them coming in for her. But it's a shame. It's a shame because obviously we speak about this all the time, but TNA seemed to be like they were getting back on track, getting a lot of momentum under their sails again. And then obviously the Scott D'Amore stuff. But then you hear something like this when Gail Kim is, and has been for the longest time, just like such a pivotal person who kept that company going and has done incredible things with that company. So it's a shame. However, yes, I'm sure she's going to go on and say, screw you, TNA. I'm going to do big things now.
It's just funny you say that the TNA was getting right on the back. They were getting back on the track, and then something happened to screw it up for them. That's the story of TNA for the past 20 years. And I love TNA, but it's completely spot on.
You are not wrong. Well, we send our best to Gail Kim, and I'm sure she's going to end up in an incredible position regardless.
Sure.
Anyway, we move on to some WWE title plans. The WWID tournament is getting underway, and the first match in the men's tournament has actually been announced. As set up on WWE Evolve, Ice Williams will face Brad Baylor in the opening round as part of FSW, short in Vegas on April 18th. The tournament will take place over multiple indie promotions to crown the first men and women's WWE ID champions.
I'm getting flashbacks to the UK Championship back in 2016, where it's appearing on like Progress, it's appearing on Rev Pro, they're appearing everywhere, and then they have the big title ceremony. It's over WrestleMania week, the Thursday before WrestleMania, I want to say Friday before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how much exposure this gets for the WWE ID program, whether it's received well at the independent show it's on. We'll have to wait and see.
We will have to wait and see, but speaking of other shows as well, it was recently revealed that Natalya's making her debut for Josh Barnett's Bloodsport during WrestleMania week. However, her opponent has been revealed, and last night we found out that she'll be facing Joshi standout Mayu Yamashita. It's a match, oh my god, she's so good.
So good.
It's a match that both manifested on social media, so it's no doubt going to be a banger. Josh Barnett actually tweeted about this as well, saying, when wrestlers of this caliber ask for a fight with one another, then a fight we will have.
Yeah,
and
when they both say, can we have this, you don't say no. This is especially when with Bloodsport getting Natalya on the books for this show, and you get in Yamashita, you've got to have that match together. We had the pleasure of seeing her at Thunderstruck last year at North.
So good.
One hell of a talent. Like you don't want to be missing this match, especially when WrestleMania week is so packed full of fantastic matches. This may be one of the standouts of the entire week.
I'm excited to see Natalya just let loose as well. I guess especially against someone like Yamashita too.
It's the first time we're seeing Natalya outside of WWE in so long.
Yeah.
Like, from memory, like what is she going to be like? Is she going to be Natalya with the farting gimmick? Bring that back. That's what we want back.
I don't know if we do.
In Bloodsport.
Certain people might want that back, but I certainly do not want that back. We move on to the final story of this news video, and we're speaking about the Hardy Boyz. They've teased a WWE main roster run. So speaking with CBS Sport and Shaq Wrestling, Jeff Hardy opened up about the Hardys NXT run, saying the Hardys showing up at NXT, something that's never been done before. To be there in New York, it was so rewarding and fulfilling. The response, the love, the support we got from being there, and and ended up having a great match. I love when I can go home and watch it back, and I kind of love it all. So we're just exactly where we're supposed to be, and NXT is just another thing off the checklist, man. So anything's possible in pro wrestling.
Now, when asked directly about the odds of the Hardys making an appearance on the main roster for WWE, Matt Hardy simply said, I think there's a very strong possibility you end up seeing that before it's all said and done. This is a very exciting prospect. The Hardy Boyz back on WWE TV has been really exciting to see, especially when you get a bit of crossover with TNA and WWE. That's always a lot of fun. I'd love to see them make an appearance. WrestleMania?
Oh, another WrestleMania surprise.
A repeat of WrestleMania 33. It's such a good moment when they came back.
It is such a good moment. And I think ever since we heard about this TNA and WWE partnership, I think a lot of us have been saying for the longest time, gosh, surely we've got to see the Hardys. And we did, obviously, as mentioned there. We saw them on NXT and it was brilliant. However, I do think a main roster run is absolutely on the cards. It's overdue. And also the tag team division on the main roster, especially on the SmackDown side of things, has been phenomenal.
When you think of the match that is potentially going to be at WrestleMania that they seem to be setting up, you've got the Street Profits in there, you've got Legado del Fantasma, you've got Pretty Deadly, you've got Motor City Machine Guns, you've got DIY. You need a 6 team.
Oh, you do.
You need the Hardys in there.
Are we getting a ladder? Throw them in a ladder.
That's what I want. Book it, Nick Aldis.
Book it now, Nick.
Go on, Nick.
Aldis.
Do it. I know you're watching. Book it.
He is watching. On that note, thank you so much to you for watching as well, especially you, Nick Aldis. That was our second news of the day, and we will be back tomorrow for some more. So until then, have a lovely one, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.